I think since May this year, when this escalation took place, military escalation took place between Pakistan and India, Pakistan has played its diplomatic as well as military and political cards very smartly. First of all, we did really well in the military encounter between the two countries. And then recently in our diplomatic outreach, particularly with the United States, Pakistan has shown a lot more, I would say, maturity than our counterpart or India, and have been able to establish a relationship or have been able to make some progress towards a relationship which seemingly is different from the past relationship. And it has created a lot of space for Pakistan in its relation with the United States as well as its regional role. First of all, at the level of bilateral relations with the United States, a lot of space has opened. Our Army Chief, Field Marshal Asim Munir, is undertaking a second visit today to the United States after his interaction with President Trump in the month of June. And I think there is a lot of positive reception for Pakistan in terms of having engagement with Pakistan, in terms of, as you mentioned, we were offered lower tariffs. And also, I think it is my own feeling that United States has realized that for last 10 to 15 years, over-reliance on India in terms of its strategic role in countering China or in terms of fulfilling United States strategic needs, I think United States leadership today is dissatisfied, is not satisfied. And therefore, they think that I think having engagement with countries like Pakistan, who may be much smaller than in size than India, but they have a better, they have better credentials, they have better capacities to play that kind of role. So if we talk about Pakistan-India relations, I think United States has clearly, President Trump has repeatedly said that he is against the war. He tried to end the war, to bring the ceasefire between Pakistan and India as quickly as possible. He was afraid that if battle expands, if the war expands, it would have dangerous implications. And Pakistan responded positively. He also says India responded positively and the ceasefire took place. But Indian leadership, particularly Prime Minister Modi, for his own personal political reasons, is contesting that initiative. So here, I think a lot of space has been created for Pakistan, where Pakistan's credibility has been established. But not only that, in terms of India-Pakistan equation, I think Pakistan is today well placed in the region to play a role vis-a-vis stability in Afghanistan, to play a role on Iran or whatever happens between Iran and the United States and the Western countries, and in the Middle East and Central Asia too. So I think Pakistan is well placed. But again, I think Pakistan will have also to be cautious on three fronts. Number one, Pakistan has a strategic partnership with China. So we will have to play that relationship in a manner that enables us to steer the relations well with both countries. Then Pakistan has been partnering with the United States in Afghan jihad as well as during Afghan Taliban's insurgency against the US and NATO forces. And it has it had many negative implications for Pakistan. And while counterterrorism partnership with the United States is as a whole beneficial for Pakistan, but going into a major counterterrorism war in our border region can be dangerous for us. So Pakistan has to be cautious. And third, and the last thing, and then you can maybe go to your next question also, or any questions coming out of it, that such positions are, or such opportunities are created for countries, or countries get these opportunities frequently or periodically. But then it is up to us to capitalize on these opportunities. And two things are extremely important, that we have to take some steps to ensure that political stability in Pakistan or political instability in Pakistan doesn't disrupt our strategic advantages abroad. And secondly, that the space which has been created in terms of economically, as you mentioned, tariffs have been lowered and US firms in oil exploration or in minerals are interested in investing in Pakistan. I think Pakistan has to go for an economic reform as quickly as possible so that we can capitalize on these gains. So this is my initial submission to you on these matters. No, I think Pakistan has actually been, we did not undertake an aggression against India ourselves. Pahalgam happened and Pakistan very appropriately offered Indians that we need to find a solution to this. We need to have an investigation, an international investigation, an independent investigation, and Pakistan is ready to cooperate. But for last 10, 15 years, and since I have served in India also during that time, I can relate to that Indians have developed a kind of trend or a habit for last 10, 15 years that they are bent upon selling their own narrative to the world and insistent upon the world to believe in that narrative. And their narrative has been that Pakistan is weak, Pakistan is isolated, and they can sell this to the world that Pakistan is sponsoring terrorism in India or elsewhere. And they have been quite successfully selling this narrative in last 10, 15 years. But this time, I think, since in the last few years, Pakistan has taken a number of credible steps in cooperation with the international community to counter terrorism. And the world did not therefore believe their narrative on Pahalgam and supported Pakistan's narrative. So I think Pakistan is again now in a credible position. We actually hosted a track two kind of dialogue, not track two, but a kind of brainstorming kind of dialogue recently, a conference in Islamabad, inviting all the strategic minds to see what can happen in terms of engagement with India. So Pakistan, our view is, and most of the interlocutors' view was that Pakistan should continue to send positive signals that we are ready to engage with India, but on a basis of equality, on a basis of addressing all the issues on a basis of agenda, which includes Kashmir, which includes terrorism, which includes all other areas of trade and people-to-people exchanges. And if India responds positively, we should go ahead. But if India doesn't respond positively, we need not be begging India for a kind of dialogue, because I think the dialogue has to take place between the two sovereign nations on an equal footing. I believe that since India has also suffered a lot of, serious disadvantages to its position, serious setbacks to its position in the recent months, it will depend on how BJP government takes this. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not that kind of person. Therefore, most of the people are actually not optimistic that he will come up with any kind of reconciliatory offer. But if United States continues to take this kind of line and this kind of, continues to maintain this kind of pressure, I think at some point, either he will have to look into the things differently. I mean, Modi will have to look into the things differently, or he will have to then, I think, will also be facing much more pressure from his own electorate and domestic political pressure from other parties. So we'll have to see what happens. But I think Pakistan is in an advantageous position, but maintaining your edge over your enemy or over your counterpart involves to be ahead of the curve. And to be ahead of the curve means that we should continue to keep our regional engagement with China, with Iran, with Afghanistan, with Bangladesh, with Central Asia, and all these regional partners are looking at Pakistan quite favorably during these days. I think it's a delicate balance. You have rightly said that it's a very delicate balance. But on the other hand, since I have been dealing with these players during my career very closely, China and United States have also shared interests in the region. or have some grounds for convergence in the region. Chinese, for example, have always been arguing with Pakistan, have always been trying to convince Pakistani decision makers to continue to have a close relationship with the United States, because close relationship with the United States, close engagement with the United States in security matters, in counterterrorism matters, and in other matters is important for peace and stability on our borders, and particularly in Afghanistan and in Iran and other, regional countries. At the same time, China and United States both don't want Afghanistan to go to the kind of situation, kind of anarchy it was in 1990s. Central Asian countries and Russia also don't want that. So there is a space for convergence. Convergence is that despite our respective interests, respective national interests in Afghanistan or in the region, keep working for peace and stability in Afghanistan. And I think the incentive for every power, whether it is China, whether it is United States or Russia or Central Asian countries or Pakistan, and here I would say even India, would be that if Afghanistan, there is durable peace and stability in Afghanistan, and Afghanistan opens as a route for connectivity between Central Asia and South Asia and Eurasia, I think it will be a win-win situation for all. Chinese companies, CPEC and other projects can prosper. Similarly, US firms coming into mineral sectors in Pakistan and Balochistan or in on the coast of Sindh can also, extend these projects into Afghanistan and Central Asian countries. And similarly, Central Asian, I had a visit to Central Asia recently on a conference for connectivity between Central Asia and South Asia. Central Asian countries are very keen to move forward on connectivity projects with Pakistan, and that is why you have seen recently we have signed a framework agreement to move forward on trilateral railways between Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. So I think stage is now set, and it is important that all major powers and Pakistan and other regional countries should be, engaging in a diplomacy which is different from, say, what the region saw in 1980s and 90s, and move towards major regional connectivity projects. I think that will be a win-win situation for everyone. So I think, yes, it's a delicate issue because on the other hand, China and United States also have a rivalry at global level. So this can only be contained through, I think, regional connectivity projects or participation of both these major powers, both these global players in regional connectivity through Afghanistan and through Central Asia. In the last 2 decades or so, India had adopted an approach which was based on assumption that they don't want Pakistan to be playing that role or facilitative role for regional trade, transit and connectivity. And therefore, they tried to isolate Pakistan or insulate Pakistan from this kind of economic integration. And they were interacting with major global powers and regional powers, but did not allow SAARC meetings to take place or any other forum that could offer regional connectivity projects between Central Asia and South Asia. But that policy has not delivered, and that policy has utterly failed or miserably failed. And now, as I tell you, our interaction with the world reveals that major players at the global level and the regional players in Central Asia like Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and even Russia are keen to have this connectivity between Central Asia through Afghanistan to Pakistan as a starting point for Central Asia-South Asia connectivity. And you saw that Russia has taken measures where they have kind of recognized Afghan Taliban government despite their reservations on terrorism, Daesh, and other issues. Other countries are also moving in that direction. So I think there is an opportunity where there is a serious possibility of, Afghanistan also taking measures where it tries to become part of international community, tries to take measures that help it in mainstreaming and international relations. And India, on its part, will have to change its approach. There is no other possibility. India can change its approach today. India can change its approach next 6 months. India can change its approach in next 2 years. The decision is of India's, but the writing is on the wall that the region is moving forward towards a different future. Region saw a lot of warfare in Iran and in Middle East and in Afghanistan previously, but the region is gradually now putting the war behind and is moving forward towards regional connectivity. And Pakistan has shown that it is going to be the hub for that regional connectivity. Of course, caveats for Pakistan are also there for political stability and economic reforms. But I think the direction India will have to, realize that the direction is for regional connectivity and for better relations between Pakistan and India also as neighbors. I think, yes, to some extent, everyone, recognizes the fact, everyone is cognizant of the fact that President Trump has his own style of ruling, his own style of governance. But one thing is clear, that he is focused exclusively towards economic engagement. And he is a president who is against the wars. Although in the case of Israel, I think there is an exception where United States has continued to support a war which was avoidable. But I think generally President Trump has presented himself in last few years as a president who is against the war. And this is a big card which Pakistan should continue to use in terms of its engagement with United States. In the past, Pakistan's engagement with the United States has been transactional, and has been transactional relating to Afghanistan, relating to counterterrorism. Some part of Pakistan-US engagement will remain transactional because United States will have certain demands with regard to a role on counterterrorism or with the vis-a-vis relating to Afghanistan. But Pakistan's focus should also be that this window of opportunity offers us an avenue for strengthening institutional engagement with the United States. United States, Pakistan's a significant part of Pakistan's exports goes to the United States for many years and decades. Pakistan should try to strengthen that kind of engagement where our exports, there is a space now at the moment available because United States is applying higher tariffs on many other countries. So a space is being created in United States which Pakistan should try to fulfill. And Pakistan should try to boost its own manufacturing sector and to fill that space. At the same time, to bring US firms into Pakistan's investment in the oil sector, in mineral sector, in agriculture sector, or in any other sector where it is feasible. I think we will have to reform our own economic governance system. That you are aware, there are so many shortcomings, there are so many loopholes, there are so many problems. So I think this is the opportunity which Pakistan should be taking it as a big opportunity, as a big chance to to fill a gap which is there at the international level. And as I said, you get an opportunity. It is important that you capitalize on those opportunities and cash those opportunities in a timely manner. When you miss that opportunity, when the trends at international level starts changing, then you won't have those opportunities. So timing of utilizing the opportunities are also